Hello and welcome to National Focus. I am Julian Morris. In the headlines, American-Canadian School of Medicine to open its doors in Dominica. New People's Park Playground to boost the children's social skills. And Dominica hosts St. Lucia for week-long sports tour. The details of the headline stories and more when we return.
Come join us on April 30 at the Cabritz National Park in Dominica for Jazz and Creole 2023. Jumpstart the festivities with Dominica's premier dance band, the Swinging Stars. Savor the authentic jazz performances from Dominica's best jazz musicians, the Island Jazz Collective. Then it's time to soak in the amazing voice of Haitian American songstress Felicia Ross. All the way from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, experience the energetic performance of the hip-hop duo Black Violin. Closing the curtains, we take it local. Dominica's youngest and the baddest, the Signal Band.
Yeah, something stronger than preacher man, deeper than religion dress.
Visit dominicafestivals.com for tickets and event information. Circle the date, April 30. It's Jazz and Creole in the Nature Island, Dominica.
Welcome back. The government of Dominica is one step closer to replacing the Ross University School of Medicine as the American-Canadian School of Medicine prepares to open its doors. The university's primary mission is to train excellent physicians with an interest in primary care, global health systems, and a commitment to practice in underserved communities. The school fosters inquiry and collaboration in the context of a unique and diverse learning environment that develops outstanding lifelong learners. President of the American-Canadian School of Medicine, Mr. Carey James, stated that this university will boost Dominica's economy.
We've had three people that have come on to contract with the university that'll be moving to employment contracts. If you look at all the different vendors and different businesses that are working with us, I mean, there's many dozens of people that work with the different businesses that have already been on our campus providing services, and again, many of those those renovations and some of the facilities maintenance updates that we're doing are taking place over the summer. So, in terms of how many people are working on the project, it actually stretches into the many dozens. When we look at employment versus working with businesses. I think we just have to look at the capabilities of the local businesses. Again, if we can work with existing businesses in Dominica to provide these services, then we will do that. If we feel that those services aren't available, then yeah, we may need to provide that service ourselves.
The school will cater to students from across the world as they aim to participate in a global health program.
So it really refers to the expectations of the curriculum and the type of training. We certainly would take great students, serious students that are a good fit from really any country around this earth. We're going to be participating in a global health program with North American universities, and again, I think that that's part of that education, is certainly having a diverse student body, not just Americans and Canadians and Dominicans, but we're certainly going to look elsewhere as well.
Students at the university will be guaranteed a residency program to ensure completion of their studies.
We're laser focused on getting our students ready to be physicians, certainly, but also to be successful in the residency process. And that's actually, I'm glad you brought up that point. One of the critical aspects of our school is that we're putting into place from day one a residency guarantee. And now what does that mean? That means that U.S. and Canadian students that come to us, if they are, you can see that on our website, but they'll have several chances to go through the NRMP in the United States, CARMS in Canada. But if after a few years of going through the residency application process, if they have not gained a residency, we are going to return the tuition to our students. And again, when you talk about us being a nonprofit, we are laser focused on our academics, our education, and our students.
The new People's Park Playground was officially commissioned with Easter activities hosted over the weekend. Aliyah Martin reports.
Easter Sunday kicked off with excitement for the children of Dominica when the People's Park Playground was officially commissioned. The opening of the playground was welcomed with its first ever Easter extravaganza, where they were engaged in a number of activities. Parliamentary representative for the Roseau Central constituency, Honorable Melissa Popon-Skerritt, partnered with the People's Republic of China to see the fruition of this project.
The playground equipment that you see here today has been donated by China. And again, we thank them for responding so readily to my request to build a playground for the children of my constituency and their families as well. He worked with me alongside the previous ambassador to ensure that the equipment was shipped and installed promptly so that our children of Roseau and the environs could have a place for recreation and play. This space here today will provide us with a safe area where they can themselves engage in free and spontaneous play and express their fun-loving nature. And here, which is the most critical part for me, is where they can take a break from their tablets, a break from the phones.
Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt believes socializing is important for the holistic development of the children. He says the playground initiative is one of the many developments carried for the children.
And I have no doubt the children will enjoy this park. This park will come alive. It will be a safe place where we can bring our children to recreate. And I'm hoping that we can have more and more of this taking place in this park so it becomes a truly family park. One of the other things that I'll be working on, and Honorable Skerritt is leading on, is the construction of public swimming pools in many communities across Dominica to encourage our children to be part, to learn to swim in safe spaces and to recreate. So you'll be seeing the government constructing public swimming pools and playgrounds across Dominica so that we can get the children to be out of the home and to socialize with the rest of their friends.
China's ambassador to Dominica, His Excellency Lin Xiangjiang, commends the parliamentary representative for the Roseau Central constituency, Honorable Melissa Popon-Skerritt, for her commitment to the development of the city. He believes this initiative is one of the best gifts one can give to the children.
And today we finally see the beautiful children's playground paradise completed. But the equipment of the children's playground is specially designed and manufactured in China using durable materials so that it can withstand the sun and the rain and provides the children with a most safe and fun experience. I should tell you that only part of the equipment are located, equipped here. There are still some and will be put in other places. And this playground creates a new space for the children to play. You can play after school and on the weekends and also during the holidays.
The new children's playground will encourage child development by promoting social skills. It will also aid in building healthier minds and bodies. Aliyah Martin for the Government Information Service.
Key partners for two ongoing projects in Dominica, namely the Sustainable Land Management of the Commonwealth of Dominica and the Strengthening Resilience of Agricultural Land and Forests in Dominica, have met for their 5th Joint Steering Committee meeting. The projects, funded by the Global Environment Facility and co-financed by the Government of Dominica, were established in 2018 and 2019 respectively and are implemented by the United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP. The Partnership Initiative for Sustainable Land Management, PISLM, serves as an executive partner for the projects. At a post-project steering committee press conference on April 6, Chief Technical Officer for the PISLM, Lekram Singh, said the discussion was geared at illuminating the way forward for the projects whose completion anticipated for July 2023.
Both of these projects aim at helping the country to build its resilience in climate change and, of course, disaster risk management in very different ways. Both we are focusing on building the resilience of the agricultural sector as well as the forestry sector. In doing so, what we've had here today is we've had the permanent secretaries of the divisions of the Ministry of Agriculture as well as the Ministry of Environment, who both sit as co-chairpersons of our project steering committee. And what they've done here today is to help us, give us some guidance as to how we proceed with these projects so that both of these projects can have the maximum benefit for the Dominican people.
The projects were designed specifically for Dominica. Consultants were sourced within the country so all outputs could remain within Dominica. Mr. Singh spoke of the expected outcomes of the project.
Both of these projects will see a lot of our farmers becoming more climate resilient in their production, more sustainable in their production, as well as divisions of forestry and agriculture, given the capacity to ensure that their work programs are achieved in a more time-sensitive, more efficient and effective manner. And both of these projects are really just platforms for larger projects to come that will enable the country at large to achieve something called its land degradation neutrality targets, something that the country is, I know it's very important for the country because the country suffers so much from erosion, land degradation within its watersheds because of climate change and these heavy rainfall events.
Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of the Environment, Rural Modernization and Kalinago Upliftment, Mrs. Sylvanie Burton, highlighted the success of project outputs so far.
Only yesterday we saw the handing over of 5 land use management plans to 5 of the parishes. That is one of the outputs of the project that was done. And we see that the project continues to work with the forestry division in reforestation post-Hurricane Maria, of course. We know that for now, under one of the projects, we have over 20 acres of land already cleared and replanted, reforested, as a matter of fact. And so we look forward to a number of other components being completed.
As part of the reforestation effort, the project has seen the rehabilitation of government nurseries to produce a maximum of 10,000 seedlings per year. A watershed management plan and an action plan has also been developed to restore the Batali watershed. This will be used as a framework for similar watersheds conservation plans for Kakulibistri and Lap Lane. Meanwhile, National Project Coordinator Yuan James says they have been working tirelessly to establish an environmental bill for approval. He says this is significant for Dominica to build credibility and access grant funding from international entities. Over 50 students from the St. Lucia Sports Academy have arrived on island to take part in a week-long calendar of activities. The students will face combined teams from Dominica in various sporting disciplines, including cricket, football, and track and field. A welcome ceremony was held at the Cabrit's cruise ship berth on Saturday, April 8th, where the students and the teachers met with sports officials from Dominica. Senior Sports Officer Mr. Yudi John stated that tours like these will help young athletes create a network among themselves as they grow and develop in their chosen discipline.
It is hoped that with activities such as these and this particular tour, that you, the youth, the future of our Caribbean and the sub-region, will use the opportunity to create beneficial networks for our region among yourselves. This tour will not only expose our skills and talents of secondary school age for further development in the form of new opportunities in addition to those provided by the sub-regional cricket body, WICBC, and the Windward Island School Games.
St. Lucia's Education Officer, Mr. Francis John Lewis, described the week-long tour as a historic event for the St. Lucia Sports Academy. He stated that the Sports Academy provides an avenue for holistic development of students.
But the Sports Academy is here to let you know that education is one where we provide holistic development for our students. We are moving in the direction where we understand, and the new government now understands this very well. That's why there are 4 other institutions that will be established, where one will be for agriculture, then we have for tourism, for the arts, and so forth. So we have understood that education is not just simply the acquisition of the grammar type education. We need holistic education for our children. So therefore, the Sports Academy, where the students stay there, they live there, they sleep there, they abide there for 5 days in the week. Then we are going to make sure we nurture these children to a very high level in their sports and also in the academics. But then what will happen is that the sports will drive their education. That's what we are moving to.
Minister for Youth and Sports, Honorable Oscar George, stated that this tour is indicative of the relationship between the two countries. He noted that there are numerous opportunities for sports in the Caribbean, but it has to be developed from the grassroots level.
Another main area for the Ministry of Sports is to ensure that we find opportunities for our young athletes, right? And we all can agree that there are tremendous opportunities for sports in the Caribbean. You know, back in the days, it was very limited. You know, we only had cricket, for instance, on a big scale. Now we have, you know, success stories in all different types of sports. I'm sure that St. Lucia has a delegation in Carifta. You know, all the countries have delegations in Carifta. So there are opportunities for athletes, regardless of what sport you play. And while we seek to create these opportunities, one of the things we want to do is we want to ensure that sports is developed at the community level, right? At the grassroots level, in the villages, you know, on the streets.
You are watching National Focus. More when we return.
I love the freedom when I'm out there. Simply put, the worries from shore, none of that out there. And it's my daily bread. I learned it from my dad. My dad is one of the senior guys here who catch the biggest fish around here. And he's top with the red snappers. It's a family thing. I'm the only one fishing right now in the family. Just keeping it going. I enjoy bringing them up, man. Sometimes you have a yellowfin tuna, 400 pounds. Man, let me tell you, that's just a joy out there. I enjoy going out there and just holding the big fish. I don't lift weights, I lift fish. The morning of my fishing trip, I would get up, make a little spiced tea. Then I come down here. I have my GPS, which most fishermen are supposed to have that. Normally I prepare the day before, because whenever you go out there, you must have ice. Ice is a must for preservation of the fish. So I always make sure I have everything the day before. My fish represents me, and I bring good quality fish ashore simply because the restaurants themselves, they have to show a quality product. Tourism and agriculture go hand in hand. That's what I think. We're all connected. it's like a big machine, and I'm just so proud to be a part of it. My name is Brandon Carlisle, and tourism is my business.
Hey, you feel that? You feel that? Hey, you feel that? Somebody say, let me know, let me know. If you hearing me, somebody say, I live in like yes, it's true. If you feeling me, let me die. If you feeling me, let me die. Find peace anywhere you come from. Coulda up, you coulda down. Blessings on my nation. Can you feel the love that's in the air? Whenever you feel it, let me hear you say, dancing, moving, grooving everywhere. If you feel it, let me hear you say, na 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 na. Yeah, na 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 na. Slow it down for me. Dominica, Dominica. Give thanks.
Welcome back. The development of a synthetic track is in the works as government continues to make sports a priority in Dominica, with numerous investments in young athletes and infrastructure. These investments can be seen in the rehabilitation of several hard courts and playing fields around the island, as well as new infrastructure, including the Massac Indoor Facility. Rehabilitation works are also ongoing at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium at a cost of over $2 million. While many of these investments have been geared towards basketball, football and cricket, Minister for Youth and Sports, Honorable Oscar George, says government has not forgotten the track and field athletes.
The government is committed to developing athletics. As indicated by our sports coordinator, we recently held the sports meet at the Benjamin Park, and that in itself afforded the young athletes the opportunity to develop their skills, and I'm always advocating that at a young age, that's the time you have to focus on developing our athletes at the grassroots level. This is very important for us, and I believe that the athletics meet was a success, and we look to further develop the meet, bring more athletes, even introduce more disciplines to the athletics meet, because we see the benefit of that from a national level.
One major investment in athletics is the development and construction of a synthetic track for local athletes, as announced by Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit.
Recently, we heard the announcement from the Honorable Prime Minister of our intention to develop a synthetic track for athletes. The reality is that we have been doing a lot of investments in infrastructure for cricket and football, etc. And I believe that it's time that we do something significant for our athletes. So we are moving forward with this. We want to have a headquarters in place for athletics in Dominica. So we have identified the lines in Point Wrong, in Portsmouth. Obviously, there's a lot of work going on in the background. We have to do the design, the surveys, the utilities. All of this has to be done to ensure that we can do some earth movement and construct a facility.
When completed, the synthetic track is expected to transform athletics in Dominica.
It's something that I want our young athletes to take pride in, to support. Is very important for us. This facility will consist of a 400-meter 8-lane synthetic track. We also have a practice track. We will have, lights. We have office space, sitting bleachers. Provisions will be made for high jump pits, javelin runways. We have long jump and triple jump, discus. All of these will be incorporated in this facility, and it's something that I think that will transform our athletics in Dominica.
The Climate Resilience Execution Agency for Dominica, CREED, has donated micro, small and medium-sized enterprises MSME business kits to the Ministry of Labour, Public Service Reform, Social Partnership and Small Business Development. The kits were donated as a guide to assist with the ongoing drive to improve the sector and the economic independence of business enterprises. Minister for Labour, Public Service Reform, Social Partnership, Entrepreneurship and Small Business Development, Honourable Miriam Blanchard, says she is confident the kits will contribute to the advancement of the sector.
I have no doubt that the content developed by CREED and the Small Business Support Unit will contribute to the resilience and success of our sector. Based on the opportunities made available through the efforts of CREED, several transformational outcomes are in the hands of our entrepreneurs. You will be able to identify the potential impacts of climate change on your business operations and supply chain and develop strategies to mitigate these risks.
Honourable Blanchard says the tools have been designed to empower entrepreneurs to promote sustainable growth.
The toolkit comprises of the following: an MSME database, business management guidebook, and an MSME website with training modules. These tools have been designed to empower our entrepreneurs with the knowledge and skills necessary to develop resilient business strategies to promote sustainable economic growth.
Geothermal development in Dominica has reached a new milestone with the commencement of flow testing on the second production well at Loda on Thursday, April 6. Testing of the production well is an important step in the geothermal development project as it will determine the energy potential of the well or how much electricity can be generated. Mr. Dalton Elwa is the project support engineer mechanical for the Dominica Geothermal Development Company.
This is very important because when we are developing the geothermal power plant, we need to know the capacity of that plant. We need to know the capacity of the well so we can design the plant. But more than just that, the flow test also takes a few measurements such as fluid chemistry, the gas content of the fluids, and these things are important in helping to design your power plant. In doing the flow test, we had to take certain precautions, mostly for health and safety. And we started with engaging the community by sensitizing them on the risks of the flow test. We had to bleed off a gas cap that was in the well.
Mr. Lua reports that all the necessary precautions associated with the flow tests were observed.
Before flowing the well, there's a layer of gas on top of the well that has to be bled off. And in doing that, we had to protect the community. So we engaged emergency services. We had the Red Cross, we had the fire service, the police, the environmental health, and we also did our own monitoring with our gas equipment. When we opened the well, which we started at 6 a.m. this morning, we had a buffer zone which we did not allow anyone to come into. And once we opened that section, we monitored the levels and whether there was any danger to the community. The good news is within 200 meters or so of the well, there was no detection of any gases. Once that first gas cap was bled off, we saw that the steam was coming from the well like you see behind me. And at that stage, the well is pretty safe. The hazards to the community is nothing. So we can proceed, and we're going to be testing the well for the next 4 weeks.
Meanwhile, drilling of the reinjection well is nearing completion. Drilling commenced early last month and is expected to wrap up before the end of this week. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I am Julian Morris. Thanks for watching.